Welcome back to another episode of R&R with RTZ. With your host, Areeba Azad.
Rahib Tizamon.
And Rahib Tizamon. Today, the T stands for treble. On today's episode, we have our guest, the roaring host of the DMV, MC Riju. We're going to talk about how he got into his career, what it's like being an MC, and how it is balancing his life and work in a South Asian Bengali household. Let's get into it. Rest and relax while we rant and ramble. R&R with RTZ. All right, let's get into this. Rohit, why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Absolutely, guys. First of all, very, very blessed to go ahead and be on this podcast. I've seen a few episodes. I've heard about you guys. You guys are really a spreading name in the DMV.
Oh, snap.
So very, very grateful to be here. And that you guys have this platform is absolutely amazing. For people that don't know me, I did get such a great introduction, but my name is Rohit Ray. I also go by MC Riju. Riju, for people who don't know, is my Bengali nickname, or as we like to say, Daknam.
Yep.
I've been with music for as long as I can remember myself wearing diapers when it came towards dancing or singing to, starting off with my dad as my first music guru ever. And now recently, over the last few years, doing professional emceeing, has been just such a great journey for me, and I really wanted to go ahead and share it to the world, which is why, my slogan for any time I post something with MC Riju is follow the journey, witness the legacy.
Yeah,
so
wow.
we're here to go ahead and
That's
to really
so
share
cool.
it.
Yeah,
Thank
awesome.
you.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
I've never actually known an MC. So this is kind of cool. What was your first ever MC thing that got you really into this?
It's actually very, very good question, because that's where the journey really starts, right?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, I get this confused by clients, by other people all the time. MCs is different from a DJ. The DJ is your main person that is, playing your music. Yeah, you got the headphones going on. We got the little Damo figure with the headphones here too. That's great.
Yeah.
So DJing, you got with the headphones, making sure that your music is going up to speed and great and fantastic. The MC is like your hype man or woman that is on the mic. So they're going ahead providing you that energy the day of. Any announcements that you have, any transitions towards that event, you're almost like a day of coordinator at the same time sometimes. So you're almost like a middleman for your DJ and your client. And at the same time, you're the person that's responsible for creating all the hype and the energy. So where it began for me actually was with my best friend's wedding. So I got two of my best friends married together, which was crazy.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah.
Going all the way back to college, I kind of became the Cupid for them, and then once they were introduced to one another, things started happening. They fell in love, and one day I get a little call from them. Shout out to Neil and Sarah. They're like, "Hey, we are going to get married, and we're going to move to Chicago very soon." And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me, right?"
This is what you do to me. I put you guys together, leave me.
Like, you want to throw me in the wind right now? Like, I'm like, come on. So, we're just excited that they're going to get married together.
Right.
And two of my best friends, it was a beauty because I was the best man for the groom, and I was the man of honor for the bride. So equal amount of responsibility.
You had two parties to plan,
Exactly. And what was funny throughout the process is that, the groom had already moved to Chicago at that time.
Right.
So I was with the bride, going to different vendors, selecting the linens.
Oh, you really were a man of honor.
I was a big man of honor.
Yeah.
But the issue was that some people also thought that I was the groom.
I can see that,
So we were just laughing at each other like, no.
That is my sister, bro.
Yeah, you could basically say that, right? But during the series of wedding events that came to go ahead and follow, it started with the Mandi. And it was an outdoor setup that they had. It was tented, and weather can be such a big factor when it comes towards these kind of events. And it was during that night, summer night in July. It starts to rain. And and the worst part is that obviously outside there's speakers set up, there's equipment set up, so we had to shut most of everything down. And the bride over here is getting worried, me like, what am I gonna do? Right. So I'm like thinking outside the box. I'm like, yo, you're the man of honor, you're the best man. do something. At that point, I always carry my instruments in my car. I always love a jam session. I guess that's a Bengali thing that goes on and happens. And I just brought out a drum, and we didn't have a mic, so I just started going ahead and just bellowing my voice, but I sing also. And I just started singing and playing instruments, and the entire crowd was engaged, and they absolutely loved it.
Wow.
And that's kind of what had saved in their eyes the Mehndi. And then similarly, when the Bharat was happening for my friend, I saw the energy was dying. Very first thing that was talked about, they're like, Riju, you're going to be in charge of making sure everybody's lit and hyped the entire time. Not a single person should not be dancing. So at that point, I went up to the DJ, DJ Rohit Ray. He's one of the very first people that really introduced me to
the other DJ was Rohit.
Yeah. What a series of ironic events, right? And then, with all that happening, I kind of just grabbed the mic and I just told everybody that, okay, like, it was so basic. It was something just along the lines of, are you ready for more? Are you sure? Everybody put your hands up. And I was an MC. I just delivered it with free voice. But that was my very first clip that I ever had as a quote unquote MC, because I never had experience as one prior. But
when was this?
This was back in 2021. Yeah, 2021, back in July. Okay. So, after all this started happening, my best friend's circle that included the bride and the groom from their wedding, we were in a basement. And I remember during this time in my life, I was going through a lot of dark things. I was just getting over a very traumatic relationship. Still trying to, and then COVID was happening, the job wasn't there. So really just trying to find myself and try to figure out that, okay, in a situation where this can happen, how A, am I going to earn money? And then B, I really started focusing on my happiness. That's when the mental health podcast started coming out for me, which we'll talk about later. But then, it really came down to deciding what is something that I want to do for myself. And the main reason why I never hopped on, music for a while was because of the stigma that we have within parents, within South Asian families, where if you pursue it, then you're not going to be successful. You can't make a living out of it. Yep. And it's ironic because
it's never about happiness.
No, it's always about like stability, right? And so my dad, with the background that he has, he always looked at music as a hobby. He never looked at it as a way for me to pursue, or like even a career per se, but even something that could be tangibly payable, even part-time or whatnot. So I didn't have parental approval for anything. It all started off with my best friends, and their parents were on deck because they literally saw after the Mehndi and after the Bharat how much A, natural talent was there for me. And then B, there's a lot of inquiries after that do you do this professionally? Can I have a business card of yours? And I'm like, well, I haven't even launched myself.
This is my first time. I've only been here for 3 days.
Doing anything. So, word discussions happened, and during that night, we just decided, we're like, it's either I try or I can look back thinking I have never tried this again, and I don't know if I can make it or not. So that night, it was like in July or August, we decided together, it was me and like 3-4 other people, we're like, you know what, we're going to launch myself. And then we're like, what should the name be? Right? That was the next thing. I didn't want to be Rohit because I was like, there's too many Rohits.
Right. Yeah, clearly. There's one at the wedding.
Oh, very much.
We had a DJ Rohit at my friend's wedding. Later on, as I got into the industry, I got another really good Rohit who's a good friend of mine who's a DJ. So I was like, this is way too common. And I really wanted something that that was unique, and then B, something that could go back towards my music background. Because at this point, my father really did not know that I was in this industry. None of my family knew, right? But I still wanted to go ahead and have some way to, acknowledge that background and that love I had beginning with him. And so that's what I thought, Bengali roots, Bengali lineage, unique. Let's do my nickname. Let's do Riju. Yeah. And that's where it all began from there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I love that. That's so fun. And like
starting the business because you have a natural talent and inclination to do something is a very strong start.
Yeah.
And it's always hard to go against like not having that support from family. Like, I mean, everyone a lot of brown people go through that, and it's hard. And some people just give up on it and they're like, okay, fine, I'll just go do a job. But it's nice that you pursued it, and you look happy, which is good because
Yeah.
I feel like, if you were in something else and you're like, oh, what if I never did it?
Yeah.
It'd be a bummer.
I mean, definitely, for me, one of the biggest things was that at least keep your hopes high, but keep your expectations low, so then you can be satisfied with what you get.
Right.
And I'll be quite honest, like the first 6-7 months of me doing it, it was a struggle because I launched myself in September of 2021. Nobody had really known me. And my very first event was with DC Wale Desi. Shout out to Jason Kazi, who and Monica Huja, who literally gave me my first platform ever to go ahead and to do it. Now, It wasn't a wedding; it was more of like a gala style event, and it was unpaid, But at that very first time, I thought it doesn't matter about whether or not I'm paid or not. That my platform needs to be there, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
And from there, one client reached out. I did a beauty pageant that year too, so that was very interesting.
Was that like Miss DC India or
it was Miss Bharat DMV actually.
Okay,
so that was the very first year where Miss Bharat DMV actually came to the DMV area.
Wow.
So they hired me, and I was like, yay, I'm getting paid.
Look at it, Mom, my paycheck.
Right. I mean, I was so excited because I'm like, wow, like I actually get to have a paid gig before even the year even ends, But there was a dry spell I had after that. I had about 4 or 5 month dry spell where there was no inquiries. I'm consistently trying to market myself, but with what content?
Yeah.
So initially when I first started, I labeled myself, and I still kind of do, as a versatile entertainer because, I remember asking one of my friends who's in the industry, MSB Doli, he's a percussionist. And I was like, dude, has there ever been an MC that's also a percussionist and does both? And he's like, no, nobody ever does that. Like if you are a Doli, you're a Doli. If you're an MC, you're an MC. If you're a DJ, you're a DJ. And I started to wonder that, what if I could be a jack of all trades and kind of market myself during that umbrella. So a lot of my initial, gravity was actually from percussion gigs. And I just started to play more and more covers to try to get some content out there, some singing stuff.
Nice.
And then it turned out that literally 5 months after having a complete dry spell, where I was almost on the verge of bankruptcy too, which is crazy.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
scary.
I got my first inquiry for a wedding, and I was thinking, man, I was expecting, maybe you'll be around here, something small. First inquiry in Pittsburgh, and I'm like,
Oh.
what? I'm like,
That's so
who
random.
are you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how did you find me? And to this day, I really do not know how they found me, but it was a trust thing, and I think it's kind of crazy because as an entertainer, your first few events are kind of like an experiment.
Yeah.
You're still trying to
yeah.
figure out what is your signature, what is something that you can go ahead and work on, what are things for you to keep on. And my very first wedding was a very conservative Pakistani wedding. And for people who know the industry, for people who know about Pakistani weddings in general, it's either very hype, very nice people, but either you're dancing or you're not doing any of that at all.
Yeah.
And my first one was
Depends on how
like,
religious it is. Yeah.
yeah. And my very first one, literally, when I tried to open the dance floor, it was done within 20 minutes.
Yeah.
My friends drove from the same people that we decided together to start the Emceeing idea.
Right.
They drove respectively from Chicago and then from here. And so they come back and they're like, yeah, we're just gonna come back because it was a dry wedding, and they're like, you know what, there's no alcohol here, but there's a bar like literally 2 blocks away. And they're like, all right. And they're still in the hotel. And they literally come back and they're like, what happened to your dance floor? And I'm like, it is gone.
Wow.
So I felt very, kind of sad at first.
Right.
I thought I had failed. But then the DJ at that point came up to me and he's like, dude, it's just the environment. It's just the
Right.
kind of
Yeah.
clientele that you have, right?
Yeah.
But I was just happy that I had gotten a gig. I posted that stuff up on my Instagram and I'm like, yay, first wedding. And I come back to the DMV And just like that, one after another, it was one inquiry. And so the year that I literally thought after 2021 is 2022, thinking that my expectation going in, I'm going to have maybe 5 events. That's it. That's all I'm expecting. Maybe 1 gig a month at best. So that way people at least get to know me and I get to go ahead and have more practice. It turns out it was a huge hit, at least for me, for what I was doing. My name was getting out there. And instead of doing that expectation of 5 or 12 events the entire year, last year for me, it was about, last year, 2022, was about 50 plus events. And it was shocking.
Awesome.
Absolutely shocking.
That's great, man.
So like the fact that somebody who really did not have experience in this field can go out and do what I do, I always think about when it comes towards the kids that are in our generation, people that are just younger than us, trying to go ahead and trying to figure out that, should I do this? Should I get into it? And my answer to that is definitely yes, because I started a little bit late, but I think about it now. I'm like, had I had the courage to start this earlier, like a lot of our team is right now, because the team that I'm part of, Shivish Entertainment, is a young dynamic team. And I'm like, if I had started during the time that they are, who knows where I would have been right
definitely.
now. But you got to start from somewhere to go ahead and to grow up. So, yeah.
I feel like that's like the case for a lot of things you want to do, like RTZ Productions or, I don't know, like making a cookbook. Like you have to start somewhere. Yeah. And it's always hard to figure out where you want to.
Whenever I talk to any other creative, whatever field they be, could be an actual artist, music, singing, drawing, video, photo, MC, anything. It's always the toughest thing for anyone. They always say is to get started. That first step. Yeah. Right? You can always talk about it. Like, oh, yeah, one day I'm going to start my own business. Oh, yeah, I'm going to make my own cookbook. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to design my own house, whatever.
Yeah. It's always harder as you get older.
As you get older, you get in your comfort zone. You have your 9 to 5 and it's making good money or whatever.
And responsibilities.
You have your own responsibilities and they pile up. And then so does what quote unquote excuses. Like, okay, I already have this. I'm comfortable. I can't do this right now. I have kids to take care of. I have this to take care of. I got to do this. I got to do that. And then your time flies. Yeah. And before you know it, you're already in your 40s or your 50s, and you're like, okay, I should have done this before.
The lesson here is don't have kids.
Lesson here is follow your dreams, kids. Don't wait.
Yes, and don't have kids. Follow your dreams.
Oh, my goodness.
Not that. We don't. No.
What's that quote? The best times to start was yesterday or something like that?
Oh, yeah. That's an actual quote.
Not for having kids.
Okay. Oh man, watch out.
She's a hater.
Reverse parenting or something.
Reverse parenting.
I'm like,
this is reverse psychology. I'm trying to convince him.
So you're dedicated to reverse psychology, and he's dedicated to reverse parenting.
She'll say this, and then every time we see a baby, she'll be like, "Oh my god,
I'll literally hit him.
We need to have a baby now." Yeah, I'm like, "What? You just said you don't want any children right now."
Listen, I don't want to go through pregnancy, and then we can adopt like 1 billion kids, and
a billion kids. All right, Angelina Jolie,
or we can foster them. Like fostering, you just take care of them and then send them away. Like
foster.
That's not how fostering works.
Maybe you guys can have your own version of the Bill Gates Foundation. Could be the RTZ Foundation, that's
a home for lost kids. Look at this big ass basement. The kids would love it.
If you were to start adopting from somewhere, where would it be?
Oh my god.
Oh.
I think I'd
not Bangladesh.
I was gonna say Bangladesh.
I
was gonna say Bangladesh because I feel like
no.
If it's one place that feels that had to be my home, like my motherland, like I know the poverty there.
No.
But then there's also shitty places in America, and some American people need help as well.
Yeah,
so I feel like
I think
one of these.
I want to help the people that live where we live. Yeah, specifically, I would do Virginia. Like I would go for Virginians because I don't know. It's kind of like the kid is from Virginia. You can show them Virginia when they're older and be like, hey, like I might not be your mom, but I'm from Virginia too. I get it. Like I don't know. Be personable.
Just remember, I'm not your real mom. But here,
but this is your home now, Yeah. And I mean, it's kind of cool to think about how over time your version of home where you feel like everything is happening around you really changes, you know? Like for me, before I even started emceeing, everything was just about Maryland.
Right.
And now I'm just sick and tired of Maryland. And although like Virginia's just the next state over, it's over the last couple of years, like most of my gigs have been around the Northern Virginia area. Like there are some places in Northern Virginia which I never knew had people to begin with. And like I've done events there and I'm like, what? First of all, how did you know this area was even here?
Where specifically? Can you remember?
Yeah, so like it
was like Aldi.
Bristol?
Aldi was definitely like, wow, like there's a place named after grocery. Winchester, no, but
that's not Northern Virginia.
Yeah, but there was a place.
Technically, because it is.
It's like
yeah.
Oh yeah, it was called Middleburg.
Yes, that's close by, surprisingly.
Yeah, and like Middleburg, I never heard of it, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm told, like come to this community center, and actually that was where my very first like gig with Shivish Entertainment was. It was at this community center in Middleburg. You know, this groom and bride were getting married as per usual, having the reception, and I'm driving down this road, and I'm like, yo. Are we in Virginia right now? Like
it's like countryside looking like farm and stuff.
Dude, country,
back streets
like 1-lane roads. There's just a
Yeah.
Safeway in the entire vicinity and like nothing else.
That sounds like
There's
a burg.
it sounds like random parts of Northern Virginia are like that.
Yeah.
That's funny because you get gigs in Virginia because all my wedding gigs are in Maryland.
That is
always 2 hours
hilarious.
away in like bumfuck nowhere, Maryland. I'm going through the country Maryland roads and I'm like and nowhere. I'm like, oh my god,
Dude.
You guys should switch jobs.
Anytime I get a gig in Maryland, I'm kind of happy because then my driving is not as bad.
Right.
You know, it's like our warehouse is in Chantilly, and I think what a lot of people they don't realize is that they see the footage that we're giving off. Right,
Yeah.
like the footage, you guys doing this, me doing my thing. It looks really fun, and it like don't mind me. It is. But the issue that comes is that there's so much preparation that it takes for that vision to come true, for that dream to
There's
come
so much
true.
going
It's
on
definitely
behind the
worth it.
scenes.
Oh yeah. And like at the same time, if you have last minute changes or you got, unforeseeable things that happen, traffic is always a great excuse. It can go ahead and change everything.
Yeah.
It's the number one thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize it until I started doing weddings that how essential like the DJ and the MC are to the whole event. Whatever how many events you have, Mendi, Bara, reception, everything, ceremonies.
100%.
I do my job as a photographer, videographer. That's cool.
Yeah.
But like, gun to my head, if that wasn't there, it'll be fine. But if you guys weren't there, it'd be like a quiet wedding. No one would know how to proceed.
That's true.
Nothing would happen. You guys are
And you need to be able to articulate your word. The way
Yeah,
you speak, I can actually understand every single letter.
Yeah,
which is like there are MCs, my cousin, that like you can't understand a thing he's saying. Now in his defense, he's British.
He had a thick British accent.
Okay.
We're at our wedding.
Any of them. Yeah, it was at our wedding.
At our wedding, yeah.
That's like a destination MC.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
funny
the
because
special
at our
part.
wedding he was emceeing with my cousin who's American.
Yeah.
So they're switching off and doing their jobs. And my dad comes in halfway through the ceremony. He's like, "Hey, can you switch out the MC? I don't really understand. No one's understanding him." I'm like, "He's just British.
Yeah.
he's just he's talking English, but it's British."
Yeah. And I could understand him. It's just, the older Bengalis, they were just like, what is he saying? This is not the English we grew up with. Or
The English nagi. What to say?
It's actually hilarious that you guys say that because I was literally like before I started officially emceeing, right? So after the whole Pittsburgh incident happened in 2021, I was supposed to have my next wedding after that, say 2-3 weeks later, down in down where I live. But a week prior to that was my family friend's wedding, and I go there as a guest and whatnot. I look at the DJ and we're hearing the DJ and their announcements and everything, and it's just not good. I mean, people could not understand what this person was even saying. Nobody was really listening to this individual, and I see, and like the groom and I have been family friends for like a while, right? Yeah. And I've never seen him get emotional or anything like that. I could tell that when the dance floor was about to kick off, this guy had a tear trickling down his cheek, and I'm like, oh no. And the worst part is
like out of anger, or like sadness,
Like
out of like sadness, like out of like, this is not the way that I envision things to go. You know what I mean? Because I think what a lot of people do is that, you know, this is just, it might not be like a proven statistic, but by general rule of thumb, DJs and your entertainer vendors are one of the most least paid vendors. Like, priority is not given towards the DJ and their team. People don't realize is that there's a lot of things that a DJ company can provide. It's not just you know, putting on a few tracks and
go on your iTunes playlist and playing it. No.
If that was the case, I would go on Spotify Crossfade and go ahead and do every single one like that, you know. But there's a lot of coordination that even comes with it.
Absolutely, it's a hard job.
And DJs and MCs hand in hand, more so the MC if they're present there. A professional MC will go ahead and be doing that coordination, everything and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when I'm seeing this guy and his reaction, my table was with our friends, and they knew I had already launched myself as an MC. And this is a Bengali wedding, so my Bengali community friends were there. My parents were there. Nobody knows that I've even started yet. And one of my friends, he's just trying to push my buttons. He's like, yo, man, they need you. This guy really needs you. And I'm like, wow, that just happened. And I was like, dude, okay, fine, but only for like one time, right? So then they can go ahead and get excited. I hopped on the mic after the DJ asked me, why do you need a mic? And I just said, because I'm an MC. Now give me the mic.
I got rhymes.
At this point,
I'm about to master this ceremony. You watch out.
And like at this point, I had only one gig, so I'm like, you know what? One gig makes me a professional now. And so literally, once I grabbed that mic, A, the entire ambiance changed, which is crazy. And then B, that same DJ later on asked me for my card. And I'm just thinking, you know what? It's going to be like a lot of people, you just give your card back.
Right.
And they never come back to you. They never hit me up. That DJ 2 weeks later hits me up. And that year I was a freelancer. So from that one event, it led me to do about 25 to 30 weddings with the same exact DJ. And it really elevated, his weddings and stuff too. Because people are like, dude, there's a new MC in the DMV. This is crazy.
Got your name out.
Right.
Yeah.
So when this guy I didn't realize this guy is a veteran DJ. So he knows people. People know him. It might have just been that the wedding that he was at was not his forte. It's all good. But after doing that kind of had a trickling domino effect that led towards one person recognizing you, that person recognizing you, and you going from there. And, coming back to the whole point, it really takes two to go ahead and a tango. Mm-hmm. I say that if you invest in a professional with whatever you do, your price is going to be dependent on the quality that you're given. There are photographers out there that will work for say $200, $300.
Yeah.
But that same kind of quality of photography and videography is nowhere near going to be the same as you paying somebody $2,000 and above for those same kind of services. It just can't be.
Yeah. There's different levels. It's not just like the quality of the photos, but like there's so much, like you were saying, that goes into a wedding that not even on the day of, but the weeks and months planning ahead.
Right.
The photographer and the DJs and the MCs and the videographers, they work with the couple, try to figure out what to do, whether it's for the engagement photos or figuring out how to design their photo album. Sometimes that's a new service people do. All those things, they all come together. And it's a huge service, essentially. And a lot of it comes down to you got to be well-liked. You got to be a personal person. No one wants to, if you're going to price yourself so expensive, you got to be someone that's personable.
Oh, yeah.
And likable, right? No one's going to pay
$8,000
for an ass,
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just like, oh, you're so good, but it's like you're so annoying to talk to. Like, that's not going to work out for you.
Do you guys believe that all DJs should be taking song requests? Because I know certain people that don't.
I think from the bride and groom, but like everyone
else. I think there's
else,
a limit to who and how often.
Yeah. Like maybe like if the bride and groom says me, like us two, and like our groomsmen and bridesmaids who are wearing specific colors, like maybe that. But like I feel like it shouldn't
I think that should be a conversation beforehand where like the bride and groom give them a playlist or like this is the type of music we like, so we want to get that music in. I think that most couples do that. Like they always talk with the DJ and stuff.
Sometimes there's definitely a system like that's put in place. You know, like as far as Chivich is concerned, there's a whole portal and everything where bride and groom can go ahead and upload that information, and we have multiple meetings with them. I think what it comes down to is a lot of clients. Sometimes some clients are very good at it; they'll upload it weeks in advance. You're ready to go. And then other clients will still be fidgeting like 2 days before their wedding. I'm like, first of all, if I'm planning stuff 2 days before my main event, I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
I'd be so stressed out.
Like I would just be like, "Yo, call off my wedding. Like I'm not dealing with this right now." And you know, weddings are one thing, right? But like you, Tuhin, you guys were with us during your cousin's graduation, right?
Yeah.
And even private events, they do take coordination because you got to realize that she might not have been getting married, but this is a milestone respectively for that individual.
Yeah, definitely.
So, treating an event less just because of,
it's not a wedding
or it's not a big deal. I'm just like, nah, like.
It's clearly a big deal. You spent money on a venue and everything, invited all your family.
And every review counts, every experience counts. It takes one bad event for you to go ahead and to lose everything that you have acquired.
That's so true.
It's happened to me, it's happened to many others. But at the same time, I think what is really, really pivotal to go ahead and understand is that there are bound to be some mistakes.
Yeah.
But a mistake converts into an error if you take accountability for your actions and you try to go ahead and fix it to do something in that very moment.
Definitely.
If you don't try to do anything about it, then it remains a mistake, and you can't convert that into something else and be like, oh, well, it happened. Like, no.
Yeah, so you're not gonna grow.
Exactly. Like for me, I can go ahead and grab that mic again. But the person is not going to get married again. A person is not going to go ahead and graduate again. You know what I mean? It's special for each and every person every single time. And for me, that's what my biggest satisfaction is. People ask me sometimes, they're like, why do you do this? Especially my parents' generation and above.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Some people are very supportive. My dad is funny. My dad will go ahead and tell everybody else, like my son is doing this, doing that.
Oh my God, sounds like your dad.
Yeah, but then he'll come to me, and then we won't even talk about my emceeing at all.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't exist.
He was the last person. So I go to Cancun this upcoming weekend.
Yeah,
and my dad was literally the last person to know that I was going to Cancun. Like he was.
Wow.
He was
Sounds
actually,
like your dad.
and literally, I go up to my mom and I'm like, Mom, why didn't you tell me anything? I don't know. I'm like, yo, man, like,
Truly Bengali.
this can't happen. Yeah, because even the way how my dad figured out I was emceeing was crazy. He didn't figure it out by a social media post or anything. First of all, my mom's a lot more clever than my dad. My mom figured out 6 months before my dad even did, because she's like, there is no way you're out partying this often. She's like, Riju, I know my son. You're not a hardcore partier, so you're not going out every single weekend, just going ahead and having a good time. And I'm like, yeah, you caught me. All right.
I'm working.
Yeah. Then my mom, like I used to share my location with my parents, and then my mom is looking at it just for, free passing the time by. And she's like, why is my son in Lexington, Kentucky? And I'm like, oh, my phone got stolen, like, I don't know. It was like, nah. But eventually I broke it down to my mom, and I'm like, look, but Ma, here's the financial ledger I got. This is why I'm doing it. I love to do it. But then it comes down to the same thing. My mom's like, okay, well, don't forget about your 9 to 5 and make sure you're good with that. But she never stopped.
Eventually they'll get over it.
Eventually.
Yeah. No, it does. It takes time, but they'll move on and be like, okay, you know what? Actually, he's making money. Like he has like 2 other brothers that do not a normal 9 to 5. One of them's a barber, and the other one's a comedian. And like his parents at first were like, oh, like, I don't know.
Especially
is this going to make any money?
My barber brother.
Yeah,
because he has a whole business.
And he's the youngest
full time
brother.
invests into it. He has his own studio and stuff.
Yeah. And now he's
so it's
making
whole
bank.
thing. And like my dad was always like, oh my God, he's a he's a barber. He cuts his hair for a living.
Yeah,
he's a nutty. What is he gonna do? He's like complaining to my aunts and stuff, and then like.
Nah, dude, like people seriously think like there's a stigma with different words, right?
Yeah.
Like people, my parents. So I have other friends now that are musicians and artists and stuff. Few people overseas as well. And what people don't realize is that the way that you make a living in these industries is very different today than it was, say, 40, 50 years ago.
100%.
Because
you don't even need a degree anymore.
No, that.
And
then even for like musicians, for example, right? There's this very big perception that the only way that you're making it in, especially like I could speak towards the Indian music industry.
Yeah.
The only way that you're making it big in Indian music industry is if you made it to Bollywood.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's like the standard.
No, I'm like, nah.
Not anymore.
No, yeah. First of all, there's so much politics when it comes towards Bollywood.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that the singers in each and every film and song, it's repetitive.
It's the same singers,
like, if I hear Arijit sing one more time, I'm sorry. Like, shout out towards him. He's great. But, like, give somebody else a
it's always the same 5 people. You always recognize their voice because it's the same people.
Right. And then people have the audacity to say, like, legends such as, like, Sonu Nigam, you know. He doesn't do as much playback anymore. They're like, gotcha. He's not there anymore. He's not popping. I'm like, dude, how do you think he's making money? He has endorsements. He's doing private concerts that in one night can actually make you more than say you're waiting for those royalties in Bollywood songs again over and over and over again. I mean, nowadays making it as a musician is very, very different. You're doing different things. You don't need to necessarily be in playback in order for you to go ahead and to make your career. But that's just,
it's nice that we have all these different platforms like YouTube, TikTok, podcasts, like everything then we don't have to like worry about going into like Bollywood or Hollywood or anything like that. It's its own like.
One good thing is social media doing is, you know, making a new avenue for the music business. You don't have to sign up with the industry per se, or go through all the whatever shady practices they're always going to, labels and stuff, and pretty much be under someone else's thumb.
Yeah, you can make your own label
in a literally creative field, which is music and art,
right,
and stuff. So that's one thing.
It's really cool.
They're trying to the generation, at least the newest generation, Z and Alpha, trying to do that. Yeah, with that stuff. So it's good. I don't know if it's working in India, but that's like the Western industry here.
SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Music,
absolutely,
DistroKid to put themselves.
You can make your own audios on TikTok and make it like your own original audio.
The funniest, it's because once everything gets big enough, it becomes a meme. So one of the TikTok memes on the music trends are always like, "Oh, I made the hottest track of the summer. Oh, did I make the hottest track of the summer?" And it's just an artist trying to promote their newest song and stuff. So they have to have that line in there to try to catch the viewers within the first few seconds.
Oh my god!
While you're scrolling, so you see that a lot.
It's almost like fair game now. Like it's you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be already famous or anything like that, or you know, a born star or something. Yeah. Well, there's that. There's
some people who should not be making music.
There's a lot of people. Like, what's that? Charlie's sister Dixie D'Amelio. She should not be making music.
Wow.
Like her voice. I'm sorry.
All the D'Amelio fans are gonna come after us.
Her voice. I mean, like, she's pretty and you can stare at her, but she doesn't have to sing.
See, biggest problem with technology nowadays is that you can use it to go ahead and do things that you're never even supposed to do, such as singing, right? Like, if you guys have seen that Indian matchmaking show,
oh my god, that's garbage.
Seema Auntie has an actual song out, and it's literally about arranging marriages. And the person that shared this, she also was like, "Why? You charge clients so much money just to go ahead and have failed relationships, but you're still making that money. You know, you agreed to these contracts. Why do you need to extend yourself into a field where you should not be?
Yeah, that's just
I've
weird.
noticed that a lot. It's been a while. That's been happening for a while. Where if someone gets famous enough, the next natural progression for some reason is to make a song.
Yeah,
start getting some
Addison
music.
Rae did that. The TikToker Dixie did that. There's like so many TikTokers that should not.
It's like
be
all
singing.
those, like, you know, back in the day, all those Nickelodeon, Disney Channel stars. They started making music afterwards.
Jeanette McCurdy did country music. Miranda Cosgrove did music. It's always the girls too. It's barely never the boys. Like Hannah Montana's the guy who played Oliver did it. Emily Osment tried to sing.
Mitchell Musso.
Oh yeah, Mitchell Musso. Yeah.
Mitchell Musso.
Put
Emily
some respect
Osment.
on him. He's a weirdo, I think.
Demi Lovato.
But yeah,
there are
that's the
people-
natural
there are
progression
people
for
who
some
pop.
reason.
Many
Yeah.
people,
Like Selena
man.
Gomez, love her, beautiful, but she can't actually sing.
Yeah,
Her music
yeah,
is
yeah.
good, but her voice is bad.
Right.
And she's one of them that shouldn't have gone into it, but her songs are really good.
It just
So she got lucky.
takes away. It just takes away from the whole vibe.
It
you know,
does,
for-
and who they are as an art, like an a creator.
Yeah.
You know, she's an actor, or
Right.
they're already a singer, or they're a dancer.
I'm not
And
saying you can't branch out. And do
No, yeah,
different
if you're
things, but
good.
so, this has to be some kind of level of
goodness,
I just think like in general,
ability.
yeah. Like you need some sort of just natural inclination
right.
for you to
Yeah.
go ahead and to say that, you know what, I'm gonna try this out.
Yeah.
And
Like-
some talent helps.
Like I know I've heard and I've seen people respectively that say that they're DJs, say that they're MCs, and then you just hear you just hear them do your thing, and then you're like, stop doing this. Like there's and the thing is that with each and everything that you do, right, there are certain golden rules of thumb that you should not do. Like if you're a DJ, for example, never play the full song. Ever. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Do
I
not
agree,
do it.
and I'm not even a DJ.
Like I've walked out on weddings of my friends literally during the dance floor because the DJ was just atrocious.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
We've been to a few weddings like that.
Playing the full Flow Rida low all the way to the end, all 4 minutes or
Oh,
whatever.
God.
playing the remix of every single Bollywood song, but just the remix. not even the remake, the remix
Oh,
with all the
God.
techno beats and stuff in the back. I'm like, dog, what am I listening to?
DJing is an art. It's not everyone can. There's a lot of people who can't do it.
Have
Like
you-
Paris
have you-
Hilton
I
is
agree.
a DJ.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's
she's like an
she-
EDM DJ.
she's an EDM
goes
DJ.
to
She, like-
festivals and plays and
Wow,
stuff.
yeah.
She
like
probably
her thing.
presses a button and then I mean
who knows?
I'm
She
sorry,
could
Miss
be good.
Hilton, but
Well, I mean, we don't know.
Maybe,
We've never
yeah.
listened
Yeah,
to it.
yeah.
She could be good, but it's like crazy that a lot of people can just do it.
Yeah, I've heard like some DJs or DJs, quote unquote, all they do is put a playlist on, like a mix. They
Yeah.
find like Bollywood wedding reception mix on
Yeah.
YouTube and it's play that.
Easy way to get money, I guess.
And it's like
Sometimes.
someone else made it and they just
Unprofessional.
play it.
It really just depends on what environment that it's in, right? Like, for example, if you're doing cocktail hour music, if you have live musicians and stuff, that's very different. But during cocktail hour, you're not going to expect a DJ to go ahead and to
Right.
really, like, do their thing, mixing in manually and everything, you know? And, yeah, just...
Uh,
do they
and
still
just-
have the little turntable thingy?
So, I mean, yes. I mean, it's called a controller. So, yeah, they still have it, but it's not like back in the day where you would have to, you know, put like vinyl records
Yeah,
on there,
yeah,
swap out the records and everything. Then after that, I figured out from, you know, some veterans over here, they use CDs then. And that's where the whole disc jockey term
Right,
came in
right.
actually for a DJ, because you're swapping out, you know, different discs to go ahead and to, you know, sync your tracks and everything. And now everything is just like
Digital.
digitalized completely.
Right.
So
Which is so much easier. I'm
yeah, I
sure.
mean, for the sake of even having a library, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you got thousands and thousands of songs that you can choose from that you can go ahead and
You
do.
just need a good laptop.
Yeah. And from an MC's perspective, what is extremely important for that is that I will know a certain DJ set, or even by ear, I can tell just by looking at what he or she is doing, when is the drop going to be? How much time do I have for a build up of the track? And so I know during that point in time that, okay, this is the appropriate time to go ahead and to hype up the crowd. Is one of the biggest problems a lot of MCs have in general is they talk too much. They do too much. They want everybody to react on every single note. And, you know,
Oh, yeah. I've been to a wedding like that too. Literally recently.
really?
Yeah. Soham's wedding.
Oh,
Wait,
no.
I don't remember that.
I thought the DJ
I don't remember that.
I thought the DJ was like hyping up every other beat. Like it was like, yeah. Okay, yeah, jump. Then okay, now jump. Now jump. I'm like, all right, okay, I'm jumping.
I'm jumping.
Dude, we went to this one wedding where I think if you'd agree that one vital skill of an MC is to read the room.
Yeah.
And to
Yeah,
know
most
what the
definitely.
vibe is and how to get everyone's attention properly.
Yeah,
We went to this one wedding where they asked like the family friend or I think it was the brother of the bride to do the MCing. So it wasn't like a professional. It was just a family member they could do for free essentially.
Right, of course.
Right. But it was very clear this person wasn't a professional, didn't do this before.
Mhm.
And it was like I've never seen this. I've never been to many weddings in my life, but I've been to enough to at least get a understanding of how MCs or at least the announcer is. And this person was like, you know, the aunties are all taking their pictures. You know, this is right before after the ceremony ended, and the next event is going to happen at the reception. And so the DJ is trying to get everyone's attention. And he was just like, everyone, can you please quiet down? We're going to start talking. Everyone keeps talking. Of course, some people listen. No, you can't expect that much at a wedding, right? At an event. And he's like, can you guys please stop talking? We're about to get started. Hey, you aunties, I'm looking at you. Stop talking. And he did that for like a minute. He like pointed out the aunties. Like, you, I'm talking to you. Sit down.
Starts naming the aunties too.
I don't remember. It was back at the one we went to at our same venue at a Fox Chase. But it was so like that cringy moment. You as a guest watching something like a fire go down. You're like, oh, this is so awkward.
I mean, there's just an etiquette also of just how to talk to people. You know what I mean? And you know, I've been when I first started emceeing, I used to, you know, get agitated if people were not listening and not responding and stuff like that. But what I figured out is that your best friend is definitely repetition, but it's also to, you know, when nothing is working from you just saying something, go up to them friendly and, you know, go up to your auntie and uncle that are having their chit chat or their like adda, as we like to go ahead and say in Bangla, and then you know I'll just courteously, you know, I'll be like, hey, you guys having a good time? Yeah, okay. Well, I need you to shift your attention a little bit towards this way, you know, then we can resume the conversation, whatever you guys want to do. There's just a different way on how to go ahead and how to approach these things. And specifically for me, like, I don't know about you guys, but so I love doing Bengali weddings, obviously, because one thing is that, and I've had quite a few of Bengali clients last year as well, is that language obviously becomes something that people listen out to, right? Yeah. A lot of things I've seen, especially within Bengali weddings, is because people are so engrossed in conversation that if you say something in English, it doesn't register the first time. Yeah. You know, then there's a language barrier issue that can happen another time based on your accent, how fast you're talking. So I tend to just say the same announcement in English and I'll go straight into Bangla. And so when I say it in Bangla, no matter how broken it is, no matter how, you know, whatever it may be, it just grabs their attention. Yeah. And then you just hear my favorite commentary. You just hear the aunties and uncles. They're like, you know, they get more excited for the actual event.
My people, you know, same to same.
Yeah, it's like my people.
Oh my god!
I respect him now. He's Bengali. I'll listen to him.
Dude, the reactions I get when I use then like adjectives is crazy. You know, like if we're transitioning from a dance, you know, instead of saying this is amazing, I'm like, ekdom fatafati. Yeah. And they're like, oh,
he said it.
He said it. He's Bengali now.
Ashol Bengali.
Yeah, Ashol Bengali. And it's like, you know, it comes back to the same thing, man. Look, like professionals, there's a difference between, like, no offense, we urge clients to go ahead and to hire professional people because this is what our specialty is. Right. You know, this is what we're good at doing. And so giving that towards a family friend member that's never been on that same pedestal before and expecting them to deliver in a way that a professional would, it's not really fair.
Yeah.
And people can honestly get cold feet. And we were just discussing earlier how you guys had a situation where the MC, like someone requested for this other guy to like not be the MC or to drop out of it. Yeah. I was literally at a wedding where, you know, I may have spoken on the mic for like maybe 2 minutes and the family friend was an MC for the groom. And I'm like, you know, I just did my due diligence, handed it over. And I'm waiting, and then my DJ comes back to me, and he's like, dude, the groom is saying that he wants to change MCs. He wants you back. And I'm like, what? Yeah. I'm like, I don't got a timeline. I don't know where we're at right now. Like, it's just seriously happening. But, you know, when people see what they like, they want to go ahead and to have it, whether that's photography, videography, podcasting, entertainment. You gravitate towards things that you'll honestly just vibe with. Yeah. And that's kind of what just like started happening over and over again. But yeah, yeah. It's been such a great journey for me.
Yeah.
That's good. Nice.
I'm just so appreciative for the people that have supported me all throughout. And there's been some Bangali kakus and kakis that have supported me too, which is crazy. Just going ahead and talking about me, my recommendations. But one thing that I've definitely noticed is that, and maybe this is just a me thing, I'm not sure. Whenever you reach out towards your own community, they're less likely to go ahead and to actually book you for your services than somebody that is outside of your own community. Because then there's this expectation that happens that, he's going to be free for me regardless. He's going to give me a discount. Or do it for free. And I'm like, what is your audacity, woman? I'm like, girl, like, I don't.
That I will never understand. I think that happens a lot more in Bangladesh. Like, my mom would say it all the time.
Yeah.
There's just this, like, cheap do mentality in Bangladesh. And they bring it back with them when they come to America.
It's hard doing things for family that way, especially when this is your livelihood. This is how you make money.
And even in family, they should ask, can it be free? They shouldn't just expect it. Like, just because your family does not mean, hey, this is not my livelihood, I need money to like survive.
Exactly.
If you're family, you should pay me double because you know I need to survive.
Dude, I mean,
that's my policy.
even my own parents would actually pay me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because
this is your livelihood.
Right. And
I mean, at least you're trying to make it your livelihood. How are you going to do that if, you do it for free?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy because, I have been approached by certain people in my community to do emceeing for this event, that event. And my parents literally become like a wall in front of me. Like, they become my agent for these people.
Oh, nice.
Because what ends up happening is that, I will literally ask my mother. I'll be like, Ma, should I do this? She's like, why? And I'm just like, well, I've been part of this community for a long time. I feel bad. Maybe I should.
You feel like an obligation.
The brown guilt.
Maybe I should go ahead and do an act of service or to go back.
No, and you won't know nothing.
No, yeah. And she's like, look, if you had just started, then that's something totally different. You've been established. You're already, like, people see you on social media. They know who you are. And what are they expecting? That all these clients that you're just going and traveling for, you're just going there for free? Like, no. If they can book you, then these people can go ahead and book you too. And again, it makes sense because it comes down to, where do you want the budget to be?
Yeah. It's nice your parents support that, because there's a lot of brown parents would be like, no, I'm teaching a quota, or do it for the
I feel like my parents would be like, just do it for free. What do you mean?
My mom would be like, why are you rooting the fund? Don't charge them.
No, my mom especially, is more of like a say it straight to your face as it is kind of thing, but she waits for the right moment. So like,
oh my God, like me.
Like there were a few weddings within our own community last year where I told them, I'm like, if you want an MC, you want a DJ, you go ahead and reach out, and they never reached out. And it ended up being that it's middle of wedding season, I am gonna get booked out, so I got booked out. I had to go. And then obviously there's that one auntie that needs to go ahead and start the whole drama.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. What? Why didn't Riju come? Oh, why is he always so busy? And then my mom literally goes, well, maybe if you booked him, he would actually be here. And I'm like, oh.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many aunties that would never do that. So good for your mom.
Shout out to Sheila Ray, Mama Ray. Hell yeah.
So I guess like your parents did come around too, like the...
See, yeah, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like a work in progress. I feel like there's a part of it that is accepting, but then there's other expectations that they want out of me at the same time. Yeah. So it's still a new territory.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they see the hard work that I put in. And then my mom was like, well, he could be doing other things with his life that are not as productive. And he is. I mean, he is doing stuff that's productive. This is something that's good. It's profitable, et cetera, et cetera. He's not wasting his life behind. Now, transitioning to make this like a full-time thing and just leaving everything I else have behind just to MC, it's something that I've thought about, yet something that I'm also not 100% sure about. Because the kind of person that I tend to be is that I kind of want a balance of everything. And if I do too much of something, I will get sick and tired of it. Like, I will start treating it as a job and not as my passion anymore. You know, I already have a job. I already go ahead and I deal with that. You know, 9 to 5, I'm a medical coordinator. So I'm basically scheduling appointments and everything that are for the DHA. And it, you know, that to me, we all go in for the same purpose. We're all done during the same time. And everybody that's in my office, we all tell each other one thing. During the 9 to 5, we're talking about the job. But then after that, I don't want any emails. I don't want any calls, you know, because this is not something, because we're doing it to put money on the table and put bread on our table at the same time.
Unfortunately, that is how America works. You can't just follow your dream and make money. You have to do
you gotta diversify.
a job. You gotta do some other type of job to.
But it's good to put boundaries, like you said. Like it's very important. There's so many jobs that they expect you to take it home and do the work off hours, off the clock.
Oh my god, I hate that. That's so dumb.
No.
I have people who that I work with that do that on purpose. They'll do like some work at school and then some work at home. Like, but you're not getting paid at home.
No.
And you have like other shit to do.
And you're not getting overtime for
Absolutely
it. You're not doing anything with it.
Like sometimes I don't even plan at school. Like, why? I'm not getting paid enough. Like, I don't understand people who do that. Who take their jobs home.
So what kind of teacher are you actually? I'm
an elementary school teacher.
Elementary.
Yeah.
Okay.
The goal is to be elementary school teacher during the day and an adjunct professor during the nighttime.
Oh.
Eventually, I have to get a job first. So.
Okay.
She wants to work all the time.
Yeah, but I want to
teach. Sick.
I want to teach future
That's
teachers.
why no kids.
I actually, I eventually want to become a professor for future teachers.
Okay.
Like no longer teaching elementary, but I have to get there. This is only my 3rd year.
Yeah.
So it's like a process. I need experience.
So a professor for future teachers. You mean like you're going to be
like teaching future teachers?
Okay, so you're
teaching.
Wait, so you're educating them to be educated?
Yeah.
What?
No, I'm educating them to be educators.
Oh.
Yeah. So like if you wanted to be a teacher, you'd go to a college class. I would be the professor. That's what I want to be.
That's such a cool concept. And I'm not sure if that's already in place or not. But, you know, something that me and, you know, few guys that are part of Shivers Entertainment. Shout out to DJ Shiv and DJ Vish. One thing that Shiv and I, we always go ahead and we discuss about, which is the main reason why I decided to join Shivers Entertainment, was that what do we expect out of the company? You know, we're still a young company. There's a lot of just room for development and for growth.
Right.
One of the biggest things that we touched on, and that was very important for me in general, was to give people not only the confidence to be like, hey, like if you want to be a photographer, if you want to be an entertainer of any sort, or an author or a writer, whatever is not your typical lawyer, doctor, engineer, 9 to 5 or a technical job, you can not only have the confidence to do that, but a lot of people are just like me when I started being like, where do I start? You know, what do I need? Where do I go? Who do I reach out to?
Right.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things is that, you know, having what we want to facilitate at some point is that we want to have a platform within Shivers Entertainment to go ahead and to give people the option to learn about, hey, like if you want to DJ, here's a whole class that you can take with us about how to DJ.
Right.
We will have people from us to show you. As an MC, you know, I can definitely show you how to go ahead and how to MC properly. Even from the basics to the most advanced techniques. And, you know, I'm still learning with each and every event, with each and every experience. But I think what the ultimate deciding factor is that how dedicated are you to going ahead and, you know, curating your own art? Because a lot of people, they get so invested in the fame, in the power, in the attention that comes within entertainment, that they just kind of they kind of forget to work on their art, and then they just get overwhelmed with all of this that happens. And sometimes it's really a stereotype, man. Like people think, for example, just because I'm the guy behind the mic, I got like women chasing after me, or like the opposite way, I'm chasing after women, and I'm like, I'm like, no.
I never thought of MCs like that.
Well, like people think of entertainers, right? Not as serious individuals. It's like that fling, or it's like that mistake you do for one night kind of nonchalant thing.
Oh, I guess like in stereotypical movies. I've seen that. Yeah. It's usually the white old, like tall white man that happens to.
I mean, I can't necessarily say that like that part doesn't happen to people, because like literally with my very first ex, I remember one night she comes back from the club. I'm just like, I don't remember what I was doing. I was doing something else. And she's like, Rohit, I got to tell you something. And I'm like, what happened? And she's like, I made out with the DJ. And I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You know, like, how did this happen? You know, but then as I'm in this industry now, I'm like, I know how it happened. You get a few drinks in, you're vibing with the music, you really like what they're doing, and you're like, let me show you my appreciation.
Oh,
but
I'm so sorry.
No, it's all good. It
sounds like a good industry to get into. I don't know.
Yeah, if you want to be that sleazy guy that lets the girl kiss you,
dude. I mean,
like
Tuhin,
that's gross.
Tuhin over here, man. You know, we're still vibing. We're still searching. It's all good, man.
As long as they're single, yes. You do what you got to do.
Yeah. No, like me, and Tuhin. Sometimes we talk about it, and we're like, you know, we are one of the individuals in life that there are some people that don't even try, and it just follows them. Like I have DJs within my own team that literally like they'll be doing their own thing. They won't be paying attention. A group of 10 girls goes ahead and follows them. I'm like, okay. And then there's me, and I'm like, got on the mic, stuff like that. As if I try to approach a woman. I literally one time just went to say hi to somebody. Are you okay? And she looked at me and she ran to the other door. I'm like,
oh no,
bro. I'm like, either you were having a bad night or I'm just like blatantly ugly to you. I'm like,
I'm just
all right,
absolutely hideous. All right,
yeah.
You could just say no. A simple no would suffice.
goddamn.
I was literally thinking of the SpongeBob episode at that point. You know, when he has the bad breath. It's like, I'm
Am
ugly.
I ugly?
How long have I ugly? As long as I've known you.
I'm ugly and I'm proud. Is that what he calls it? I'm like, dude, you know. So it's just amazing. But I mean, for me, I've always thought about it that one, I'm always focusing on the job, you know. And the second thing is that for me, primarily, clubs are not my main source of where I do my thing as an MC. It's mainly weddings.
Yeah.
Now, if you try to go ahead and say you're trying to hit it off with somebody, and that becomes like the groom's sister, or the bride's sister, and something goes awkwardly so wrong. I mean, like we mentioned again, it takes that one bad word
that's gonna be real
for you to go ahead
now
and
I need to
do
ask,
so.
have you talked to any bridesmaids or maid of honors?
I have
Sneak
reached
away and be
out.
like, MC will be back in 5 minutes.
No, I mean, I have done it, but I've done it in a very like cordial kind of way, you know.
after the event.
Yeah.
Aw.
And like now what I've done is that instead of just going around the bush and stuff, dude, I'm like, look, I'm 28. I'm now at a point in my life where I'm like, I'm gonna tell you exactly what my intentions are. So then I'll like go up to like, for example, the bride's sister. I had this happening a couple of months ago, and I was like, hey, what's up? I hope you guys enjoyed. And she was like, yeah, it was all great. You were fantastic. And I'm like, listen, I need to tell you something. And then I'll be like, look, I mean, you know, I ran into your profile on Hinge, on Bumble, stuff and whatnot. And the fact that I met you in person is crazy. And that's kind of where it starts off with the conversation. Okay. No, I'm not going up to her being like, oh my gosh, Shadi.
Hey mama, what's up?
I'm like, you so fine. Throw that back now. I'm like, nah. No. But
I like the approach. It's nice.
Yeah, but you know, sometimes though, I'm blatantly, I'm just a nice guy, and I had a bridesmaid from one event like a while back, a wedding. You know, one of my DJs came up to me a day later, and he was like, "Dude, I just want to let you know that at that after party, there was a complaint about you. And I'm like, what did I do? And like my family friend was at this after party. So I just went because he was there. He's part of the bridal party. And I'm like, yeah, he invited the MC. All right, all good. Apparently, I was a little too nice with somebody, and she thought of that as me flirting with her. And she was like, yeah, so the MC was flirting with me. And I'm like, okay, you need to stop putting yourself on that pedestal, number one. Like, no.
There are some people like that, man.
But it's almost like they're seeking for that moment for you to react.
Like,
that's
I would never, thing. And then she'd freak out or something.
I'm like, no, I'm just a very true gentleman at heart. Like, for real. And nice guys are finishing last. That's what the problem is, Like, I don't understand. And dating as an entertainer is so difficult because A, where's the time?
Right.
B,
that's true.
The perceptions of, what is our perception of a relationship, what it may be. Are we serious about it? Are we doing a fling today? I don't know what's going on. And the third thing I can't wrap my head around, call me old school, but there's so many different just stages now before you get to the actual relationship. Like, there's a situationship now.
I still don't get that.
I'm like, what was that?
I don't get that either.
It just
I
sounds
think
like
it's a bunch of people, like, making up different names.
I'm like, you either in or you either not.
Yeah. They're trying to find new ways to say not a relationship.
Right.
A lot of the times people are, boy or girl, are now like, oh, should I date this person or that person or maybe not at all? Like, what if it's wrong? And everyone's always worried. I mean, I get it because dating, especially nowadays, can be so scary and so difficult. But then there's people who make it overcomplicated.
Right.
And like, you were saying nice guys finish last. I agree and disagree in the sense that nice guys are so needed, but there's other aspects that girls just can't ignore. Like, there are girls who are like, oh, you're so nice, but they want like a little aggressiveness, or they want, they want someone to hurt them. There are girls who seek out not nice guys. No, but like, those are the girls you don't.
These girls. Where do I meet them?
Well,
she's hurting me now. Oh, I found one.
I'm right here. Don't worry. No, but like, those girls are the ones like you can't settle down with, and then guys are like, oh, nice guys finish last. Like, no, you're just finding the wrong girls because they aren't nice themselves. So nice guys need to be nice girls. That's the key here.
Wow.
You need
bars.
Bars.
Nice guys need nice girls.
MC Areeba, bars.
Oh.
We all can finish first.
You are officially a poet now. Yeah.
I mean, that's how it worked for us. He's really nice. He kept finishing last, and
what? Hey, what?
And I'm the nice girl. I never finished. So.
Oh my god. No, I have a story that I heard. I was interviewing for this wedding company, and they were telling me all the rules and stuff. And how to proceed as a videographer, how to interact with the guests. Be polite, all that stuff. Dress well. Blah blah blah. One rule that came up is like, don't friend people, the guests, especially the bridal party, on Facebook, social media, whatever.
Which makes sense.
Don't follow them until a certain amount of time has passed.
Right. Yeah.
Because what happened, they had an incident where one of their videographers was flirting with one of the bridal parties. And they, after the event over, he friended her on Facebook or something, and he realized that she was like 17. And he was like, the whole time there, he's like, oh, I thought she looked older and stuff. So obviously the girl complained to like her parents or the groom and brides, like, hey, your videographer's hitting on me and stuff. I don't think he knows. I'm only 17. And so he got in big trouble with the company and with obviously the couple and stuff. He got fired and shit. So that was like a horror story they were telling all the new employees. I was like, oh, wow. Can that actually happen?
That's terrifying. That's
it's
minor.
Terrifying. Yeah. Plus, like at the same time, I can relate to that because like, no, that didn't happen to me. But for some reason, I have this thing where it's either the women that do approach me, they're either way too young, or they're just too old, and like, I have nothing against like older women, but I'm not trying to be the father of your child, like that's not me.
You know what I think it is? I think like brown men tend to look either really young depending on like the light or the outfit, or I'm like dead ass.
How much facial hair you have?
No, like dead ass. Not even facial hair. Sometimes like you could have all the facial hair, but like there's like features that make brown men look babyish, you know, especially at our age. Like you guys are only a year apart. There are times where you could look so young that the young girls are like, ooh, he just has a beard, you know, he's young but with a beard. And then older girls are like, oh, he's older because of his beard. And there's that weird perception. And I mean, I've definitely assumed people are older or younger depending on like when it comes to brown guys. I can never tell at all. That's why I asked you how old you were when you first came in, because I was like, is younger or older? I can't tell.
Yeah. No, I mean,
so hard.
And you know, certain people have a certain preference towards a certain age range or not. You know, it's and it's amazing to me, even when it comes towards that, how much the value of a conversation you have with somebody can either be great, or it can either just be thrown out the window once they figure out what your age is, right? Yeah. Like I've had people that have not cared about my age. They're cool with it. Like for me, it's all about mentality, right?
Absolutely.
I've met older women that are very immature. I've met younger women that are mature for their age. And I'm like, this is something great to have. You know what I mean?
All about experience.
Yeah. But then when it comes towards, you know, moving forward with it, that's when it becomes a hindrance towards some people. Like one person literally told me, she's like, I can't imagine moving forward with you because I can't take like Jello shots with you behind a frat house. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that's a deciding factor for you?
Wait, like she was younger and she wanted to take Jello shots, or you were
yeah. So she
said
was
push it, she couldn't party with you, essentially.
Right. She's
like, why does your age stop that?
Because apparently it's more of like, I guess.
No, she was saying he was too old for that.
Yeah, like
What? How are you too old for that? I mean, you could do that.
So the thing that comes into play, right, when it comes towards that is that what is your preferred kind of activities, right?
Yeah.
She had an experience with her other friend. Her other friend dated somebody who was 4 years apart, and this girl wanted to party while this guy wanted to go towards a wine barn. And I'm like, first of all, I don't drink wine at all, so that ain't a problem. I like the other W. I like the whiskey. But then, you know, when it came towards explaining that, there was just no room for going ahead and comprehending that moment, you know.
So
it was like, nah. I've had a bad I've heard about, not even her friend has had a bad experience, so then she doesn't want to take a risk. And I'm like,
no Jello shot type of guy. I can't do that. Get out of here.
I don't see you behind a frat house.
No.
I can't.
If that was the
look like you be in the
factor,
front of the frat house.
See, those girls, those are the girls that are not nice.
Exactly.
And they will have a bunch of guys in their lives, but they'll never be happy.
Exactly.
Because come on, no, like who's gonna dump your ass because I can't see us doing Jello shots together. Like when I grow old, I want to be
requirement.
I want to be doing Jello shots in a rocking chair with you. Like what the fuck?
In a rocking chair with you.
I mean, she's missing teeth at that point, right? So.
I mean, yeah,
she will be getting Jello shots. Some nice pudding. That's where medicine comes in.
It'll be prune flavored.
Can you? Oh my God! I'm just imagining like my dad all toothless. You know, if he can't drink, he's I'm swallowing this Jello shot. But oh my gosh! But yeah, like, you know, speaking of partying in general, I think a big stereotype about entertainers is that all we do is party. And I'm like, I
never thought of that for MCs.
The party.
I feel like DJs, like in my head, I think DJs are the partiers, but I think MCs are like, they have a job to do. They're here to host something.
Oh, no.
That's what I feel on both ends. Like if it's your job to party, essentially, MCs and DJs, you don't actually do that in your free time because you're already in that environment all the time.
I'd be bored of it.
In your free time, you want to do something else, you know?
First of all,
do you do puzzles?
do I
maybe, on track? Stay on track.
I don't know. Maybe he does puzzles. Do you do anything that's not partying, like on your free time?
I mean, yeah. Like I got friends that do 1,000-piece puzzles, but I don't have. I don't have the tolerance, like not the tolerance. I don't have the patience for it. You know, because one little itty bitty angle will be a different piece.
Yeah.
And if your son is 200 pieces, I don't know which yellow is different from the other yellow. So I'm like, nah. No, for me in general, I mean, other than just partying, so to speak.
Yeah.
Really big into music. So like I do a lot of jamming and stuff that. But in something that's non-music oriented, I like hiking. You know?
Nice.
I like actually like sometimes taking trips up in nature and stuff is very reflective. It's very
You're just giving us your dating profile right now.
Yeah.
You're like long walks on the beach and stuff.
He's more than just an MC. He likes hikes.
Yeah.
Good.
Other things?
Keep going. Keep going. What else? Dating profile.
For all inquiries, contact 1-888-SHIMMISH. I mean, hiking. I love discovering new restaurants, actually. I love discovering new food.
Yes.
It's restaurant week in DC right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So discounts on like
They do
high
it twice a
3-star
year.
places.
What?
Yeah.
I never knew about this. And
Really? You never heard of Restaurant Week?
No.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
they
gotta
do
look
one.
into it.
Yeah, they do another one in August.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my
They have like
goodness.
special menus and like whatnot. And it's like a whole set. You have to buy the whole thing. But like, I mean, it's still interesting.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess just new experiences for me in general, It really depends on my mood. Like I'm a very spiritual person, so sometimes I'll just randomly be like, I want to go to my mandir, I just want to sit and just meditate. Or just go quietly somewhere and just listen to the water flowing or whatever like that, but definitely like there's a hint of spontaneity when it comes with me. I feel like in entertainment, a lot of stuff is by a timeline, by a book, that by the time that you're done with the event and the process repeats, you want something random in your life that can go ahead and really just spark up your energy or do something like that.
Yeah,
So
I see that.
yeah.
Definitely.
And pop-up bars, definitely pop-up bars.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So like the mindfulness stuff, because you were talking about like mental health was a big thing for you. Like
Actually, that is one thing I forgot to go ahead and to mention. Yeah, mental health advocacy is a very, very huge thing for me. Before even emceeing, I think one of the biggest things to focus on my happiness was really taking care of my mental health. And that was one of the big reasons why I started emceeing. Prior to that, I was doing a mental health podcast. I do it off and on right now, but just giving a platform for people to really speak about their journey with mental health or somebody else's that they know. And it comes down towards the fact that the slogan for this podcast is your voice is your platform. If somebody was able to go ahead and to provide you the channel for you to go ahead and to just say whatever you want to say, deliver whatever you want to deliver. That's why I love podcasts in general, because it's not scripted. It's really just coming from your heart, delivering what is true about yourself. And you never know when your message can go ahead and impact somebody, so.
I think it's cool. Like, it's not very normal to see brown guys like express mental health or even talk about it or let alone make a podcast on it. I know a lot of brown people in this area, in the DMV area, that are men, and none of them have. I mean, even the two that are in this room and have never
Say
really
it to my face.
Yeah, you know what?
Say it to my face.
Talk about your emotions. Talk about your feelings.
I'll never talk about them.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I don't have them.
yeah. Well, I like it. It's cool. Like you're breaking a stereotype that, you're teaching these young men that they can talk about their feelings too.
She called me young.
No.
Oh my god.
Nah, man. He just comes to the basement when you're sleeping and just
He cries. He sits here and
I just
cries.
record a podcast by myself.
Yeah, he speaks into the mic when he delivers.
There's no recording or anything. He's just talking.
He's just talking, listening
Today
to
was really
himself.
hard.
Yeah.
just
That's
I wanted to
therapeutic.
cry, but I couldn't.
Just talking. Just let it out.
That's what you got to do, man. And just in general, a lot of times emceeing has a hint of that. You're just going ahead and just talking, but you want to make sure that you're talking about the right things that you can connect with others.
Yeah, the job is connecting with the crowd.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh,
you
yeah.
gotta guide them through the event and make sure everyone has the right vibe and the right energy and stuff. And of course, make sure the
And it
couples
makes a
are
huge
happy.
difference. Oh my gosh.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And now, I've started for certain people, especially if it's a Bangladeshi client.
Yeah.
I've been like singing towards the very end because the biggest problem sometimes with Bengali music is there's not a lot of
It's not
hype
hype.
dancing.
There's no hype. They have metal.
Yeah, right.
There is Bengali metal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's
it was
Bengali
Bengali
metal.
metal. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's like the hypest it gets. Like, there's no like.
I'm thinking about what that's incorporating. Like you just got like a bucket and then like a gamcha and you're just like slapping it on it for the actual beat, or like
Village
Well, it's a lot
metal.
of yelling
Yeah.
in Bangla. Like, it's yelling to the beat. Bengali.
I listen to Bengali
Yeah, he
metal.
listens to Tuhin listens to.
I mean, I listen
Really?
to like I'm a rock metal person.
Yeah,
but
but it's
like,
like
I-
actual metal, like guitars and like whole.
What are
band.
they even saying during these Bengali metal songs?
Well, I mean, Bengali
Yeah,
metal
well,
is a new
okay,
thing for me.
Pachino,
Like it's
Is it in Bangla or English?
it's in Bangla.
It's in Bangla.
It's in
Bangla.
That's also be just
There's
metal.
other
It's Bengali metal.
Oh my god.
some do in English, but I've heard the Bangla ones, and it's they're talking about life and morality or mortality.
Sing one.
And I
Bangla,
cannot
go.
sing
Sing
Bangla.
it.
Yeah,
5,
yeah,
6,
yeah.
7,
I don't
8.
know.
I'ma get killed, Pachino,
I don't know about that, but
Bruh, they will. All these guys will literally be talking about how they're in music and they don't want to study. Yeah. Portion of faltu. Yeah.
আমি lawyer হব না, আমি
Hey.
teacher হব না, doctor হব না, আমি গান করব।
it's a younger crowd, maybe.
So now you've upgraded from a poet to a lyricist.
Yeah,
now.
whoa.
Congratulations.
Who am I
Bars.
today?
Yeah.
Creativity.
Yeah. Wait, how is the Bengali metal scene
Yeah,
from what you've
actually,
seen?
What I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot. Like I don't
Okay.
really pay attention to a ton, but there are bands that are like
Are they old?
from the
people?
80s and 90s. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're like
So
old
they've
people.
been around.
Yeah, yeah.
for a while,
80s and
yeah.
I've only
90s.
ever seen old people doing it. I've never seen young people do it.
I,
Yeah,
I,
that's
What?
I don't see enough of the Bengali music scene. The only thing
Yeah.
I've seen is like parody, like they're trying to do a rap video and it sounds so bad and it's like so cringy because you know what they're saying. I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, when you know the
Yeah.
language, it's so cringy. Like I can listen to
Yeah.
K-pop, I can listen to Bollywood music, and I don't know what the hell they're saying,
Yeah.
and it's awesome. But I listen to we did like a Bengali song at our wedding for a dance,
Yeah.
and at one point I was like, this is so cringy because I know what they're saying. Like the song was sweet and it was great, but like it's weird when you know what they're saying. And then English songs, it's not the same thing.
Nah.
Different vibe.
Bangladesh has their own like Bollywood. I
Bangla
forgot what they call
music
it,
is very-
Hollywood or something.
Yeah.
I think folk based though. Like it's a lot of
Yeah,
like,
it's
There's
too
a lot of folk
folky.
music.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like
Slower.
baul, like baulgan and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a Bengali pop star?
I'm sure they have
A
it. And
B
They do.
pop?
Yeah.
B-pop, you know.
B-pop star. I want to be the first B-pop star.
like
There
I
we go.
follow a few
New dream.
on
You already got the
Instagram.
hair for it, so you're good.
And I got the bars
You're on
apparently.
the first step, yeah. She's making the lyrics. All she gotta do is grab T-Pain's mic, and then you get
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You know, that's what's
Get some
going
attitude
on.
in there,
Like there's
yeah.
that one dude, Musa, right? Bengali
Musa's
guy?
there, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and then-
There's a few, like, you know, you got him, you got Robin Day, then you got a lot. I wouldn't say I don't know a lot of Bangla rap in general, but there are a lot of Bengali music artists that are now coming up.
Isn't like a Amit Khan or
Anik
Anik
Khan.
Khan.
Anik
Yeah.
Khan. He's Bengali. Yeah.
Bengali, but it's all in
Yeah,
English.
yeah.
It's all
Yeah,
in
Anik
yeah.
Khan
But
is
he's
literally-
Bengali American, so
Right,
he's
right.
making music. So
There's a
yeah.
lot of New Yorker artists. like,
He's literally one of my favorite artists, like hands down. And there's so many of them emerging now into the music scene, which representation is always great. And then just, you know, and then just a fresh face with a fresh voice. You know,
Yeah.
I look at this. I look at entertainment in that kind of way. Like people like him. Then we got like Raja Kumari coming up.
Oh yeah.
Her concert was amazing in DC. By the way, it was small, but she just selectively interacted with everybody that was in that crowd. And I
Wow.
think what it really comes down to now that we're seeing this, South Asians are really going ahead and making their way into
Yeah.
the entertainment industry and being recognized on a global scale.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
Tesher.
definitely,
He's
yeah.
got really popular.
Oh, yeah.
He worked
He
with
had-
Jason Derulo
yeah,
and stuff.
Jason
that was a
Derulo.
big hype thing.
Yeah.
He went on an award show, right? I think VMAs he performed there or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's
where you
cool.
dance with Sammy Lou? That one?
Was Simu in there? Yeah, yeah.
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 You like dance to
Yeah, yeah.
Let Me,
Simu was doing
Baby,
like all that bad bungra.
Wow.
Yeah, he was doing
Bad
He
Bungra.
was bad the Indian bad bunny, bad bungra.
But I love that. Trademark that right now.
That's a parody
Bad
skit we'll
bungra.
do.
Yeah,
one.
do
Oh
it.
yeah,
Bad
we should
bungra.
do a parody skit on. Oh my god, that's a great idea. I'm gonna write it down.
next video.
God. Good dude.
All right, man. We've been talking a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, but tell the listeners where they can find you, where they can book MC Riju, everything all about that.
Of course, of course. So, guys, if you want to go ahead and follow me, do it at Rohit Ray Live, ROHIT RAYLIVE. That is my Emceeing profile that I have on Instagram. That's basically, for me. Follow Shivish ENT also. That is on Instagram. I just look forward to going ahead and just creating more and more memories for people. And at the very end of the day, if we are making those dreams come true, one event at a time, then you're following my journey and you're witnessing my legacy.
Hey,
Nice.
there you go. He brought it back. There we go. Well, thank you, man, for being
Yes,
on the podcast.
thank
It was a
you.
great
Thank you guys so
conversation.
much.
It's always nice to have more Bengali creatives
Yes.
here
Oh my
in this
gosh.
area. It's always nice to see other people in the arts rather than just the boring 9 to 5 and stuff.
Yeah.
You're following your dreams, you're making your legacy, and it's always great to see.
Appreciate it,
coming,
guys.
man.
And same thing with you guys. I hope this platform grows and grows even more.
Thank you.
You guys are going to bring more and more people over here, and the studio you guys have is amazing. It's going to
thank you.
just go ahead
Thank
and
you.
go up from here.
Shout out to my mom.
Shout out to Mom.
I put this together.
My mom gave us the house.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening and watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Peace.
Hey guys, Rahib here. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to the channel, hit that bell button to get a notification whenever there's a new video. If you want to support the channel, check out the merch shop, as well as the Buy Me a Coffee page and the Patreon page to get monthly benefits such as exclusive BTS content, unedited podcasts, and early access to all the videos. All the funds help grow the channel and keep it afloat, so any and all help is appreciated. All the links are in the description, and I'll see you guys next time.